I had a specific...
You're a lot of trouble. You are a duality we didn't count on. You made trouble, and you evoked from us the clearest answer we've ever given about that. It's a lot of trouble. But you evoked from us the clearest answer that we've ever given. So we deem it worth it.
Thank you.
Do you?
Yes.
So how are you going to feel about trouble that comes to you? You're going to say, no! You should not be here. You might cause me to expand. And I was happy. I was happy in my nest.
Yeah. One more question. I had a specific experience with my son, and I'm wanting to know whether or not I have and am learning the lessons that was intended to offer both of us.
Well, you can't help, but no lessons are being offered. You're not on trial, and you're not being given lessons. You're not climbing the rungs of a enlightenment ladder. But you are co-creating with other brilliant co-creators for the purpose of establishing more and more clearly what you want. So out of the experience, what is your new conclusion about what you want? What do you now want way more than you wanted before you had that experience? Is there something?
Yes.
Then you're learning, then it was of benefit. If something came out of it that you want, that you didn't know that you wanted before it happened, then it was way, 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 way worth it. And so now the next question is, do you have the ability to focus upon what you now want?
I'm working on it.
Without holding yourself or him in a regretful, that didn't have to happen, that shouldn't have happened that way. You see, when we always enjoy so much when someone has 2 or 3 things that they want to talk about, because they're always about the same things, just approaching them from different directions. And this subject is really about your previous decision. You decided to believe that contrast or anything uncomfortable is inappropriate. And the source within you doesn't believe it. The source within you knows that in discomfort comes stronger decision about what comfort is and about the comfort that is wanted, you see. So you just get better and better at it so that you don't have strong discomfort. You get better and better about it when you accept the perfection of the contrast. That really is the reason that we're having this conversation with you. Because you want to, you must, you have no choice but to accept to accept the perfection of variety and contrast. So it must show itself to you. So you say, well, I like it at the buffet, lots of variety, and I just pick. And I have the ability to control my behavior. I can't really control what the cook did in the kitchen. Might look good but not taste good. But I have some reasonable, and I have control to not choose that again because that crazy cook makes it that way every time. So I can pick around the buffet until I find the things that suit me. And it's a buffet of 1,000 items, and I've found 5 that fit me. 5 delicious things in this buffet. And I pick them every time. And I'm pretty sick and tired of them. So I think I'll go to another buffet. Uh-oh. Can't trust the cook in that kitchen either. I'm going to have to just try it. I'm going to have to try it to see how I like it. Now, we're talking about something with action here, but really, this is the way you're vibrationally tasting your way around the planet, too. You're vibrationally tasting your way in and out of relationships. You're vibrationally tasting your way through life experience. And what we're wanting you to understand is that the way we are describing this sounds like it is what it is, and you're just picking from among it the things that are pleasing to you. But that's not what deliberate creation is. Deliberate creation is getting out ahead of it. Deliberate creation is before you go to the place where you're choosing the food, acknowledging what a good feeling, good tasting meal would be like. by remembering bits and pieces of others, remembering that you want to be fueled and that you want to be energized and that you want it to taste good and you want it to look good and you want the environment to be delicious as you are participating in it. And so as you get out there ahead of it and you find that feeling place and you find that feeling place and you find that feeling place and you practice that feeling place until you own the vibration of well-being relative to the selection of food or whatever the subject is. And then you get an impulse, you get an inspiration. So your timing's right. You show up when the cook that cooks like you like is, or you show up at the restaurant where the food that is prepared the way you like is. In other words, you receive the inspiration that leads you to the path of least resistance for the results that you have already identified that you want. And it is so profound and so perfect that everyone on the planet could have a different set of criteria and all could make their way to perfect moments in time without demanding changes and differences from others. That you have the ability, just from your life experience, and we don't mean to minimize that, from your life experience, you have the ability from your life experience to come to conclusions that matter to you, and you have the ability to practice the vibration of them until you own that grid. And then you have the glorious experience of getting to watch the things dovetail into your experience as reassurance and evidence of the vibration that you have honed out of it. You see, the molding of the clay is the molding of the thought. The molding of the thought is the thinking of the thought. The molding of it is the thinking and the feeling of it. It's the deciding of it. That's why, as Esther stumbles across one of these thoughts that it seems to just show up out of the blue, never out of the blue, always out of the oblivious. You've got some vibration going on, and here it comes. But so now here's this thought that you're participating in. Where did it come from? What duality brought that negative thought? What duality? Is there really some really creepy source that wants Esther to be unhappy and so beams a negative signal at her? We'll get her sooner or later. We'll get her. We'll get her. She can't be that sunshiny person all the time. We'll watch. We'll get her. We'll get her. Ah! It's not like that at all. It's just stuff out there, rivers and streams of momentum that you have the ability to tune into or not, you see. So, it's so delicious when you finally understand that you have control of the way you feel because you have the ability to guide your thought. We haven't talked about it here today, but we want to. You have the ability to give your attention to thoughts for the purpose of evoking within yourself a feeling. You have the ability to do that. But sometimes if the momentum is already strong, you can't do it right now. And that's what makes you object to something that feels like duality, because it's the biggest argument that we have with people, that people give to us when they say, Abraham, you say I am the creator of my own reality, but I do not believe that I am, because this is happening to me, and I know I would not have done this thing that I do not want to myself. So there must be some other factor that you're not telling us about that is introducing into our experience this thing that we do not want. And we say, there is nothing that is introducing anything that you do not want into your experience other than that thing you do that is not letting what you do want in, you see. So it doesn't matter how you verbalize around that. The truth of it is that you wouldn't know what you do want if you weren't surrounded by some of all of it. And there is an exhilaration that we can't even find words to describe. When you just take at face value some of what you've heard here, and words don't teach, so you had to have found some resonance with it, did you?